Hello friends, I'm Dr. Amol Pathak. Welcome to my YouTube channel Dr. Amol Mediclass. I'm the Assistant Professor in Department of Practice of Medicine at Jawaharlal Nehru Homeopathic Medical College, Paru University. Friends, in last few videos we were discussing about the involuntary movements. In the involuntary movements we have discussed about the tremors, classification and characteristic features of different types of tremors. Then we have discussed about the classification and characteristic features of different types of seizures. Now in today's video we are going to discuss about the classification and characteristic features of epilepsy. Epilepsy is nothing but a tendency to have recurrent seizures. Epilepsy is classified into different types on the basis of its different features, like the clinical manifestation, type of seizures that are occurring, age of onset of epilepsy, the associated symptoms, anatomical localization of the focus, underlying pathology, and EEG changes. So, on the basis of these things, epilepsy is classified into the first type, that is infantile spasm. Friends, infantile spasm is also known as West syndrome. Now, this type of epilepsy is more frequently seen in between the children who are in between the age of 4 to 6 months. So, infantile spasms, as the name itself suggests, it is common in the children in between 4 to 6 months of age. The reason for occurrence of this type of epilepsy is birth asphyxia, any CNS infection acquired during the process of delivery, and trisomy at chromosome number 21. This trisomy at chromosome number 21 is a genetic disorder. Now, what are the characteristic manifestations of infantile spasms? So, infantile spasms manifests themselves in the form of seizures. The seizures are very similar to myoclonus. I hope you all remember what is the meaning of myoclonus. The only difference between the myoclonus and the seizures of this epilepsy is the myoclonus, that is the jerking movements of the muscles, are very slow in evolution. The jerking can be of flexor muscles, extensor muscles, or it can be mixed in nature. The next type of epilepsy is Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. The age of onset of this type of epilepsy is the 3 years. That means this type of epilepsy occurs at the age of 3 years. This type of epilepsy is having a very poor prognosis, and the patient who is suffering from this type of epilepsy usually do not respond well to the anti-epileptic drugs. These patients usually require surgical corrections. So this type of epilepsy manifests itself in the form of different types of seizures. That means the patient can have tonic seizures, atonic seizures, myoclonus, generalized epilepsy, generalized seizures, or partial seizures. Now, the patients who are suffering from Lennox-Gastaut syndrome are also having persistent seizures and neurocognitive impairment. Friends, the third type of epilepsy is benign epilepsy with centrotemporal spikes. This type of epilepsy is very common in the childhood. This type of epilepsy begins after the age of 3 years and decreases itself by the adolescent age group. So it usually do not requires any treatment. This type of epilepsy is manifested in the form of partial seizures, twitching of the facial muscles, dribbling of saliva from the mouth in sleep, and speech arrest. Sometimes The children who are having this type of epilepsy also suffers from generalized epilepsy in sleep. The fourth type of epilepsy is named as juvenile myoclonic epilepsy. This is the commonest form of epilepsy occurring in adolescent age group. This type of epilepsy is manifested in the form of myoclonus and generalized tonic-clonic seizures without aura. The patient who is having juvenile myoclonic epilepsy usually gives the past history of absence seizures in the childhood. I hope you all remember the meaning of absence seizures. The seizures in this type of epilepsy are provoked by sleep deprivation. Usually, the patients who are having this type of epilepsy have normal growth and development and have wonderful scholastic achievements. That means this do not affect the neurocognitive development of the person. This type of epilepsy, that is juvenile myoclonic epilepsy, responds well to the medication, but if the drug is withdrawn, if the anti-epileptic medication is withdrawn, then the relapses of this type of epilepsy are very common. So the patient must have to keep on anti-epileptic medications for his life. The last type of epilepsy is temporal lobe epilepsy. As the name itself suggests, this type of epilepsy occurs because of any lesion in the temporal lobe of the brain. This type of epilepsy is most common localization related epilepsy occurring in adult. Localization related means that the focus of the seizures can be localized. The patient who is having temporal lobe epilepsy gives the past history of febrile seizures in the childhood, following by the period of normalcy. When this patient comes to the age of adulthood, it manifests itself in the form of complex partial seizures with aura. Now this aura is characterized by epigastric rise sensation, that means the patient will complain of nausea, vomiting. The patient will also have fear. The patient will complain of visual hallucinations. Sometimes the patient will present with behavioral arrest, posturing of extremity and automatism. I have already cleared all these terms. What is the meaning of behavioral arrest? What is the meaning of postural extremity and automatism in the last video when we were discussing seizures. So please go through those videos. The seizures in this type of epilepsy evolves gradually over several seconds to few minutes. This type of epilepsy is usually caused because of the tumors in the brain, arteriovenous malformations, or any pathological change occurring in the hippocampus and amygdala. This type of epilepsy usually responds well to the anti-epileptic medications, but in some patients, surgical correction can be required. So, here we finish the classification and characteristic features of different types of epilepsy. In my next video, we will discuss about the involuntary movements limited to the facial muscles. I hope you like this video. If you have any comments, if you want me to make any other video or some other topic, you can write down in the comment box. Thank you.